Howdy folks, thanks for coming here and checking out this Fallout 76 video. Today we're here to check out the Cauterizer, one of the new unique 4-star legendary weapons that you can obtain through the Gleaming Depths Vault Raid. You have a chance of actually getting the plan to craft this weapon, and also you have a chance of actually getting the weapon as a potential reward. So obviously you can see in front of you it is a melee weapon, and visually it looks like a chainsaw, and you'd be right, it is a chainsaw. It's just basically a unique legendary chainsaw that you can actually obtain. Now, the good thing about this is that it does share the loot pool or the actual modification pool with the chainsaw, so you can actually apply the chainsaw modifications to this. As you can see here, I have applied the longbow bar to this. When you do actually pick the weapon up for the first time, it will visually look like this. This is with any modifications attached to it. This is pretty much the standard default variant of what it will look like. But if you do apply the longbow bar, this is pretty much what it will look like, and it will change it to that. Now, visually, it looks awesome. I love the sort of red electrical beam that goes around the outside of this. I love the skin. I think it looks really, really nice. But after a lot of testing over the last couple of days, and you know, I like to be brutally honest about things when it comes to my weapon showcase videos, that's where the benefits and the positivity of this weapon ends. Pretty much, as you can see there from the legendary effects, yes, it does come with a couple of good legendary effects, but for a melee weapon, probably not the best. First of all, as you can see there, it does come with the vampires effect, which, don't get me wrong, is good for melee weapons because, look, you are going to be getting up close and personal, so it's good to have that sort of HP restoration. But then with the second and third star effects, you've got plus 50% critical damage, and then also as well, plus 15 bonus VATS critical charge, and then also, it does also come with the new 4-star legendary effect, plus 10% damage for each combat target around you, up to plus 50%. Now, I'll go back to the legendary effects now in a few moments, but it does also come with a few inbuilt effects. So it comes with plus 25% AP cost, minus 5% durability, and then also plus 5% armor penetration. So don't get me wrong, those are a nice couple of inbuilt effects. But for the legendary effects though, you can pretty much see that, you know, if you've been running a melee build over the last couple of years or since this game launched, pretty much you'll know that these aren't really sort of the go-to legendary effects for any sort of melee weapon. Like, okay, if you like to run a VATS melee build, then yeah, okay, maybe they might be good. But as far as melee weapons go, they're not the best. I mean, for your second star, that plus 50% critical damage, and then your third star for the bonus VATS critical charge, this weapon is really forcing you into having to use VATS with melee. So pretty much when you are putting together a build for this, and I'll kind of quickly go over the build here in a few moments, you are going to have to try and optimize at least a couple of those sort of VATS perk cards to really maximize the damage on this. But also, to be the bearer of bad news, when it comes to its performance, I'm going to be brutally honest. The auto axe, even with the buff, or sorry, even with the nerf that it received, is still much better when it comes to performance. I've tested this out against Mylar Queens, Behemoths, Scorch Beasts, things like that, and to be honest, the auto axe is still much better. So much quicker to get through enemies, so much faster, and obviously with an auto axe, you can actually modify the legendary effects, and with this, you can't. With most unique weapons in this game, or unique legendary weapons, you can't really modify the legendary effects. With some, you can, or you can completely change them, but unfortunately, with this, you can't. It's just, these are the set effects, so if you do pick it up through the Gleaming Depths Vault Raid, these are the effects that everyone is going to get, but unfortunately, you can't modify them. As I was saying there, because it is a chainsaw, it does share the exact same modifications with the chainsaw, so you can put on the longbow bar, the standard bar, and then also as well, you can change it around depending on the chainsaw mods that you actually have. Now, you can pick up those mods from any train station vendor, and then you can actually apply it to this. But yeah, look, overall, like, don't get me wrong, it is a fun weapon to use. It is still a lot of fun to use. Once you get your hands on it and once you test it out, you'll see for yourself that it is a fun weapon to use. It's easy to get through mobs like super mutants, scorched, ghouls, all that kind of stuff. But like, when it comes to tankier enemies, you kind of want to be bringing a weapon in that is going to be doing quite a lot of damage, but it's going to be doing a lot of damage very quickly. Especially, look, if you are going to be using melee weapons with Vault Raids, you want to be looking at something that is going to be doing a lot of damage. And unfortunately, this, in my own opinion, I can't really see this as being a weapon that will really do that. Who knows? Maybe it might receive a buff in the future, and maybe it might be really, really good. And in a couple of months' time, I'll be making another video about this, and that'll be great because I'd love to see this get a buff. But unfortunately, for now, it isn't really the best. And as I was saying there, it does share the same modifications as the chainsaw. There's not much point in me actually going into showing you the different modifications. There are a couple that you can pick up anyway. There's the standard, there's the bow bar, and then the long bow bar, and then that sort of goes into the stats there at the bottom left hand corner. So with the long bow bar, we're getting 66 base damage, 99 fire damage, 66 bleed damage over 5 seconds, and then 219 fire damage over 3 seconds. And then obviously if we go back here over to the Cauterizer, as you can see there, we're getting 66 base damage, 99 fire damage, and 219 over 3 seconds fire damage. So that's the difference between that and the longbow bar. So yeah, not much point in me actually going into the modifications. I'll show you the build real quick, just to show you exactly what we're running here. Pretty much when it comes to the build, this is just obviously with the sort of changes that were made to endurance and also luck as well, this is sort of a standard two-handed melee low health build. A lot of a combination of words there, but basically a low health auto melee build. That's basically what this is. So we've got expert slugger, master slugger, slugger in there as well, give us that 60% bonus damage. I've also popped in incisor to help with that armor penetration. As you can see, that'll give us 75% armor penetration. Also I've got concentrated fire, so we can VATS particular limbs. Endurance, I've popped in life giver, that got a nice little change. Iron stomach, increased damage and energy resistance, so that's only 1 star now. Thirst quencher, increased max AP. We also have solar powered, so obviously that will increase our strength. And obviously if you're new to the game, the more strength you have, the more damage you're going to be dealing with melee weapons. So obviously you need to maximize as many points into strength as you can to really get as most damage as possible out of any melee weapon that you're using. Also I've popped in chem resistant because, again, look, if you're going to be using sort of melee aid buffs, so like psycho buff or psychotats, it'll just help with any sort of nasty addictions and things like that, because obviously you don't want to have anything that's going to be hindering your strength. Fireproof, 45% less damage from explosions and flame attacks. Radical to help increase our strength with the more rads we have, basically. Starch genes, that's now an endurance, so I popped that in there. Rejuvenated, so you gain increased benefits from being fully fed and fully hydrated. Also in charisma, we've got strange in numbers. We've got suppressor in there as well. We've also got tenderizer, so we can actually deal more damage over 10 seconds. Suppressor, so we can reduce our target's damage output for 30% for 2 seconds after we attack. Nerd rage, because we are low health, so we're getting that bonus to health. And then also not bonus to health, bonus to damage resistance, 20% increased damage, and also AP regen. Stable tools, so that any automatic melee weapons that we use will actually break 40% slower. Popped an action boy to help with that AP regeneration, because as I said, you know, to really maximize this weapon's potential, you need to be using VATS. And you'll see that from the demonstrations anyway, so I've popped an action boy to help with that as well. Born Survivor, just to help with HP restoration. Adrenaline, just to give us an extra bit of damage over time. Also as well, Dodgy, I've popped that in there just to help with damage mitigation. Bloody Mess for 15% bonus damage. Better criticals, again, because as I said, we will be using VATS with this weapon, so VATS criticals now do plus 100% critical damage. Also Ricochet got a nice little change, so gain a chance to deflect range attacks based on your luck. Luck of the draw to help with the weapon condition, so obviously it'll repair itself, or you got a chance for the weapon to repair itself. Obviously good if you're going to be using this weapon a lot and getting up close and personal. Class Freak, Curator, if you're using any Bobbleheads, they'll obviously last a little bit longer. And then also as well, good with Salt, because we are going to be using food buffs, and there's a ton of awesome, really cool sort of meat-based products that you can actually use to really help maximize your melee damage and also as well your strength and stuff like that. And also we'll take a look at that now very shortly. Now into legendary perks, like I've really just maximized most of the special stats, so charisma, agility, strength. Popped in Funky Does just to help there with poison damage, especially going up against like Mylar Queens and things like that. Legendary endurance, and then also legendary luck. Now taking a quick look at the effects that we are currently running at the moment, so we'll just quickly go down here. So as you can see here, we are going to be running Deathclaw Wellington. That's one of the food buffs. They'll give us plus 6 to our strength. Tasty Yogwai Roast, just to help there with our melee damage. So that's giving us plus 170% melee damage. Also, we are fully fed, so we're getting an increase to our strength there. And then these are the mutations that we're running. So plus 50% damage with Adrenal Reaction, Carnivore, so we can get better benefits from actually consuming meat-based products, Herd Mentality, Marsupial, Speed Demon, Talons, and Twisted Muscles. Obviously kind of like the basic go-to mutations if you are running a melee build. Now also as well, just let me quickly go back in there. Those are the special stats that I currently have at the moment with all of my buffs and with the build and everything that I currently have at the moment. I am currently in Power Armor, as you can see. You can probably see from the heads up display. I do like to run Power Armor. This is kind of the build that I'm running with this at the moment. Obviously, look, you can maximize strength as much as you possibly can. I know there's a ton of amazing melee builds out there, and people in the community who have messaged me and showed me their strength points that they can even get up even further, up to like 60, 70, even further in some cases. But yeah, pretty much those are the points that we have there at the moment. So yeah, look, that's pretty much everything. And then the armor that we have here, it's pretty much a full set of Overeater's Power Armor. I've got plus 2 strength in there as well to help with that. Pretty much that is the set that I'm running there at the moment. So it's a full set of Overeaters. So yeah, look, as I said, there's no point in taking a look at the modifications. Not going to waste any time with that. What we'll do is we'll go and do a little bit of testing, and I'm going to show you the difference. As you can see here, this is my anti-armor auto axe, and this is the one that I personally use as well. So armor penetration, 50% armor penetration, plus 40% power attack damage, then also plus 3 to strength. So it is very different compared to what it was prior to the Gleaming Depths update. It did receive a nerf, but you're gonna see, even without using VATS, this weapon absolutely kicks ass. It really does. It still performs really, really well compared to the Cauterizer. So yeah, look, what we'll do is we'll hop on over, we'll test it out, and I'll show you exactly what it's like. So here we go. Now, here we go down at the pond that we all love to go to test out against this glowing behemoth. So he's level 100. We'll try and get his attention, see if he'll come over here, and he is. And here we go and see what it's like. Oh, he smacked me. Hang on, let's go again. There we go, he's blocking that, and yeah, as you can see, it is doing some good damage. There you go, that's pretty much what it's like. Obviously, I didn't use VATS, and there is a particular reason why I'm not using VATS. I'm going to show you the difference when we do use it in VATS. But yeah, let's quickly go over, and I'm going to show you what the auto axe is like against the exact same behemoth over at the pylon thingamabob. So yeah, let's go and test that out. Now, here we go, over at pylon V13, we have another level 100 glowing behemoth, and let's try it out against this. So let's see how quick it goes. This is the, oh, hang on, he staggered me, and he's blocking that. And as you can see, he is pretty much dead. So you can see there, obviously, yeah, he did block a couple of attacks, and I did get staggered a little bit, but you can clearly see the difference there. And obviously, look, if you can't see the difference, don't worry, we will be showcasing this, especially go up against a Mylar Queen. But I just wanted to show you exactly what it's like outside of VATS compared to actually, you know, using this inside, because I know for a lot of people, you might want to be using this outside because, again, look, AP restoration can sometimes be a difficult thing to manage, you know, especially if you are going in with the Vault Raid or any sort of world boss event. Look, going against mobs and stuff like that, like super mutants, there's no point in me wasting our time. Obviously, it's going to do well against mobs, as you can clearly see here. Hang on, let me just go up against these two. So yeah, there you go. Gets through them very, very easily. And cool, we completed a daily challenge. Awesome. But yeah, look, I want to just sort of showcase that just to see what it's like outside of VATS. But anyway, let's go over, let's test out on a Mylar Queen, and let's see exactly what it's like. So let's go. Now, over here at Sunrise Fields, so here we go. We're going to test this out against a Mylar Queen. Oh, we've got a couple of kings here. We also have this guy as well. As I said, look, it is fun to use. It will get the job done. But still, as I said, performance-wise, you're going to see that the auto axe still performs a little bit better. The reason why I'm saying this is just like, I've sort of had this thing when it comes to unique legendary weapons that get released into the game. I'm always really excited to test them and see exactly what they're like. Oh, here we go. Here's the Mylar Queen. But I always find them just to be a little bit disappointing. You know, like I always find that like they somewhat fall flat just out of the gate. But yeah, look, there you go. Like, yes, it is doing some good damage. you know, yeah, it is good. But you're going to see exactly a direct comparison now when we go over and test out the auto axe. So let's go. Let's hop on over. Now, here we go, down at Quarry 3. Let's try and get this other Mylar Queen out, and let's see exactly how she is feeling today when we try her auto axe on her. So will she actually come out of the lake? Come on. Where is she? Oh, she's still not there. Okay, I'll try and kill this thing and then see if it comes out. Oh, there we go. Now she's awake, finally. She's having a little bit of a sleepy Monday. But anyway, let's see exactly what it's like. And there you go. Oh, she staggered me a little bit. And there you go. That's a direct comparison. As you can see, the auto axe is much faster and still very, very good compared to the Cauterizer. Now, that's outside of VATS. Now, obviously, we want to see what it's like inside of VATS. There you go, as you can see. And again, look, I am using power armor, so maybe you might want to use it outside of power armor just to help with AP restoration. So what we might do is I might even hop out of power armor now and go back over to a behemoth and show you exactly what it's like. So let's do that. Let's hop on out and see exactly what it's like inside of VATS. And we are now back down over at the pond, and we are also out of power armor. And with that being said, there's obviously going to be a little bit of difference when it comes to our stats. As you can see there, now we are getting a little bit of an increase there to our strength. So that has gone up from roughly 41, 42, all the way up to 56. So we do have a little bit of a change there to those. So yes, it might be producing a little bit more damage, but I'm going to show you again a direct comparison with the auto axe. I just want to show you exactly what this is like. So using this in VATS, going up against a super mutant behemoth, let's try this. So let's try and get him over here and see if he comes near us. But bear in mind, I am losing out on a couple of legendary effects with my power armor, so I'm losing out on a few different things. But we want to try and get his attention here and show you what it's like. So here we go. He is blocking that. This is what it's like. And then there you go, putting in the crits as well. So yeah, it does well. It does well in VATS. So there you go. That's exactly what it's like in VATS. It does very, very well. But look, we want to see a direct comparison what it's like with the auto axe. So let's hop on over and check it out on another behemoth. So let's go. So here we go. We're back over here at Pylon V13. I think that's what it's called. Let's go and test this out here. And here is the auto axe, and we're going to use it in VATS. So a direct comparison while using VATS. And he is dead. Even with the amount of time it took me to actually say that, he was pretty much defeated. So there you go. And again, look, when it comes to going through any sort of mobs, it's fairly easy to go through. So yeah, look, I think I've kind of proven my point here when it comes to the Cauterizer. As I said, look, it is a fun weapon to use. It will still produce a good bit of damage, especially with the damage over time effects that it comes with, like with the bleed effect if you pop on the longbow bar, also as well with that fire damage over time. And yeah, look, it has a nice couple of combination of inbuilt effects as well. But just to be brutally honest, I mean, look, yeah, it does look like it does do well, but I've just pretty much shown that there are much better weapons out there that you can pretty much get your hands on. And as I said, I want to be brutally honest about things when it comes to any of the weapons that I showcase here. I always tell people, look, you know, what weapon performs a little bit better or what performs a little bit less than what we're currently using. And I'd rather be honest about these things than kind of showcase and say, oh wow, look at this amazing weapon, it's incredible, get this, and invest all of your time and resources into doing this. But I think the message that I'm trying to sort of purvey here as well is that I think this probably does need a little bit of a buff. You know, just out of the door already with the Gleaming Depths update. You know, when it comes to these unique legendary weapons that we can actually get our hands on, like, don't get me wrong, the other ones are pretty cool. I have all of them right now, and I will be making follow-up videos. But just as far as this weapon goes, I would definitely like to see this getting a little bit of a buff, especially going up against tankier enemies. I mean, if you want to be using this against, you know, world bosses, and even if you want to use this in the raid, I mean, you know, that's all that I'm saying. That's all that I'm saying. I think this will probably need a buff at some stage, and who knows, maybe it will. And as I said, maybe I might be making a follow-up video when it eventually does. But yeah, folks, that's the Cauterizer. That's how it performs. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Again, look, it's a lovely looking weapon. It looks really awesome. I do love the look of it, especially that lovely cool electrical beam that goes around it. That looks awesome. I love how it looks. But again, it just, in my own opinion, it kind of falls flat on his feet. So, but look, prove me wrong in the comments. Like, I mean, if you feel that it is good and you feel that it's a very good performing weapon, then let me know. Like, as I said, yes, it does perform well, but, you know, even with the nerf that the auto axe received, it's still much better. That's just my honest opinion. But anyway, look, let's wrap this video up for today and let's hop on out of here. Let's go. However, that's everything for today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the Cauterizer, and let me know if you've managed to pick up any of the new 4-star legendary weapons. As always, if you found today's video informative, consider giving the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss out on future videos. To our channel members and subscribers, thank you for your continued support and helping the channel to grow. If you're picking up anything over on the Bethesda Gear store and you'd like to support the channel, you can use my creator code BT76RAID until December 13th to receive 20% off your entire purchase. Until next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, welcome to Vault 93, and I'll catch you all in the next video.